number 10. This group is made of Laura Marcela Zarate, Juan David Orozco, and me, Juan Sebastián Delgado Gómez. We are going to analyze the paper of Is the International Business Good for the Companies? First, according to Herner, there are only fundamental facts that affirm the positive link between the degree of internationalization of a company and this positive performance. But without taking into account the situation that each company experiences and the characteristics that the theory of multiple stage also have on the international expansion, I use it to give another view on this question. The evolutionary stages are divided into three stages. The first stage is the initial internalization. The second stage is subsequent internalization, and finally the third stage is excessive internalization. The stage 1 is characteristic by being the stage that assumes a greater amount of cost due to the internalization of the company. This is due to the characteristic of the region of country where the company is to be established. These characteristics such as geography, cultural, political, legal, regulatory aspect, among others, generating that the effects of the internalization expansion on the financial performance of state company is negative. But in the future, we will see an increase in the benefits from the internalization as well as financially and organizationally.
Stage 2, later internationalization. Having passed through Stage 1, further international expansion begins to yield incremental benefits that exceed the firm's incremental cost. For every additional international operation or market added, there will continue to be learning, coordination, local adaptation, and legitimacy acquisition costs, but there are benefits that outweigh the incremental costs, and these are knowledge acquired from abroad, accessing or arbitraging cheaper inputs, exploitation of firms, accumulation of market power because of wide multinational presence, international skill, geographical diversification, and internationalization experience. Based on these 7 foregoing benefits, the internationalizing firm over a considerable range in middle stage 2 enjoy the net benefits of international expansion. In this stage, the incremental benefits outweigh the incremental cost, that's ceteris paribus, and there is a positive slope for the performance versus the degree of internationalization.
Stage 3. Internationalization is good for the companies. Sometimes when the international expansion go beyond a certain point again leads to reduce the profit. An example is sometimes after the 40 or 60 nations, the lower ranked nations compromise very peripheral and less promising market. So many firms are over internationalized. That is because they enjoy the increase through the years and then they don't know how to stop. Maybe the second reason is the firms that are only over internationalized for other long-term reasons. And the third one is the companies that not respond quickly enough at the change of technology or the competition. They have a lower performance. And multinationality theory, we have 3 views of a multinational corporation. The international firm is an exploiter of international capabilities. The second one is a learning organization absorbing knowledge from abroad. And the third one is a coordinator across the international borders. But when talking about transaction costs international, we don't have this point of view clear. The theories say that expanding firms have access to technology via its foreign affiliates, and argument that the profits with its ability to coordinate across the national borders. But which perspective predominates, that the exploiter or maybe the learner or the third one about the coordinator. And the multinational is principally still an exploiter of international capabilities, and that is the principal one to make that to see clear the multinational corporations. The international firms get the new advantage in learning from the international market. How we see this disadvantage of international expansion described maybe in the stage 3, but we say that reduce the cost, increase the profits and reduce the risk. The advantage can accrue from either exploration, multi-country learner, coordinator, arbitrage, or access to cheaper inputs. They are not made over mutually exclusive categories. The one common trait is that the geographical expansion enables the firm to use the advantage and improve the
How does international scale improve performance? There are production economies at the plant level. There are also firm-level economies resulting from a global scale in terms of amortizing centralized expenditures over more markets and sales. The plant-level economies. There are two conditions under which the international expansion may not result in further plant-level economies of scale because mass, minimum efficient scale, is achieved already. And the second one is when, because of engineering reasons relating to a particular production method, mass for this product is smaller than the market size. On the other hand, we have firm-level economies. Many multinational companies are characterized by having technology intensity, for example, high R&D, research and development to sales ratios, and very high ratios of sales value over manufacturing cost. To understand this better, we have an example. A bottle of pills is selling for $100, may typically have a manufacturing cost of $1 or $2 only. The difference is what one may describe as the technology margin, which serves to amortize the massive R&D, research and development outlays of the pharmaceutical company in bringing new drugs to the markets.
Personalization and methodology. The multinational firm's MP field has been particularly vulnerable to shares of the decided mixed result in studies going back 30 years. This particularly because empirics ran ahead of the theory. The results of some studies seem to suggest a linear relationship between performance and the degree of international. Other studies seem to show a U-shaped curve. However, other results show an interview-shaped relationship. But when Ryan Belkagu, who tested a three-stage model without much theoretical development, no one had introduced the cubic curve of Doi and tested for an S-shaped curve. Sampled vary by sector and natural origin, each can produce different results. By the three-stage model represented the general theory of the M and P. The operationalness of multilinearity or degree of internal. The first, the FS, the TS and FATA should be treated as different because in some companies the total sales exceeds geographic coverage from the affiliates. Also, the combination of FDIA export should be changed and a strategy of the M and P link. To reserve foreign markets in the strategy that is not adapted to the characteristic of current companies. Finally, the FSTS right must cover exports and the sales in subsidiaries F&D for the complement between the production in the subsidiary with exports to the market. The methodological uses in the M&P study should change the way of obtaining the data from passing from a cross-sectional data to longitudinal data by the results that might have in the expansion of the international indicates of the country of origin. The two methodologicals are considered the size of the market of the country of the origin and the number of contiguous market where the most have the country. And MEMP studies use the United States as the central axis to investigation, without taking into account European or Asian companies for investigation, or contiguous market of the country where it has the operational headquarters of the company, showing that the European and Asian companies have more opportunities to contiguous market due to their location geographically to purchase from the United States.
So the conclusion is that international business is good for companies. Based on the paper that talks about the theory that emphasizes on the multinationality/performance subfield, we can conclude that while internationalization does not necessarily always improve performance, international expansion does, indeed result in the net positive benefits to a firm. Also based on the modern theories, we have 7 specific arguments that support why internationalization is good for company performance over much of international expansion range. And these are the arguments that we saw as benefits in the stage 2 of the multi-stage theory. Having seen the 3-stage theory and the 7 arguments that are on it, we can see this reflected in the U-shaped curves. In these curves, we can show the positively sloped segment for the performance versus multinationality link, and this demonstrates that the international expansion produces the net positive effect for the companies. As a complement, we got the managerial implication that helps company to quickly get through the net negative effect of the stage 1 into the next positive zone, that is stage 2, but without expanding excessively to the stage 3, a zone where overly internationalized companies once again encounter a net diminution of financial performance. The middle stage, the stage 2, is the strategic and financial target.
Shall we have it through the years? They start around the 80s to develop a new marketing strategy. Stage 1, they open a new marketing in the United States, and they show how is the economy, culture, or the cultural thing around the culture. So many years later, we can see that they have 200 stores around the world. How the economy coffee is it's a good coffee, and we have the best quality around the world. You see the people in so many countries love the Colombian coffee. This thing opened a new international market from the Colombian producers, and now they can export the coffee, and it's a good competitor around the world. So the international expansion is not so good for the firm, it's good for the countries in the industry can develop a new strategy and can learn and absorb the